Hello, Saints fans. Welcome to Saints TV, not your average show here. We're going to try something a little different this week and do a little Friday morning preview of what we might see tonight as the Saints roll into the playoffs. They take on the South Winneshiek Warriors at home tonight in the first round of the playoffs. So we'll take a second here, give you a little bit of a preview on what we expect to see here tonight as your 4-4 South Winneshiek Warriors take on the 7-1 St. Ansgar Saints. Again, game at home tonight. If you can be there, please be there. We'd love to have you there on the field. And if you can't, obviously you can join us right here on Saints TV. But let's roll through a little bit of what we expect to see tonight. South Winn, coached by Jason Ort in his 20th year. This is a well-coached team, 4-4 on the season. As we mentioned, let's talk about how they got there. If you look from a schedule perspective, this team, 4-4, and really it's kind of been win a couple, lose a couple throughout the entire year. They played a Starmont team in that first week, lost 14-15 in that first week to Starmont, beat North Butler in week 2 pretty handily, lost to Wapsie Valley. The district champion in their district was Wapsie Valley. Played Newman Catholic in week 4, lost that one in what my understanding is was an absolutely wild game, 44-42. Newman wins that one. Now, keep in mind, Newman Catholic had Thomas McGuire at quarterback in that game, which was not the case, of course, in the game versus the Saints. So I think that changes things, changes that game if you're looking to compare scores there. I think that game was very different as a result of having Thomas McGuire versus not in the game versus the Saints. They beat AGWSR handily. The second common opponent that South Winn and St. Ansgar has is Nashua Plainfield. So this game, my understanding was 21-0. South Winn was up in that game in the third quarter. Nashua Plainfield scores the last 4 times and wins 27-21 over South Winn. So the Saints beat Nashua Plainfield 27-7 in a game that wasn't that close, but the score was 27-7 in that one. So there's your other common opponent. They end the season, South Winn does, with 2 wins, a good win over a North Tama team, 44-36, and then a blowout victory over BCLUW. So South Winn 4-4 comes into tonight's matchup with their schedule looking like that. They're going to run the flex bone offense, some combination of what we see out of West Hancock and what your Saints run. Going to have wing backs in this offense. If we look here statistically at this team, one of the things you'll notice is Braden Todd has the majority of those completions and pass attempts. I don't believe we will see Braden Todd at quarterback tonight. He has not played at quarterback the last 2 weeks. Carson Streeter has been the quarterback for the South Winn Warriors the last 2 weeks. Is that injury related? I think it probably is. Todd has played, but not at the quarterback spot. He's played either in that wingback spot or even some receiver, I believe, those last couple of weeks. So I think we will see Carson Streeter at quarterback tonight. Of note, Streeter's only thrown 4 passes in their last 2 wins. So those last 2 victories, 2 games of the season, they've attempted just 4 passes. On the season, they're running it at about an 85% clip, so they don't throw it a lot anyway. Like most A teams, their bread and butter is running it and keeping the ball on the ground. With that flexbone offense, they're going to run the option. That's what you're going to see a lot of pitch. And then when they do throw it, it's going to be kind of on rollout passes, playing off of that pitch. So the Saints defensively are going to have to be quick to the sidelines tonight to keep that ball inside. I think the strength of our defensive line is going to prevent South Winn from running up the middle anyway. So they're going to try to get the ball outside on your Saints quite often tonight. Hey, Carson Streeter, number 23, the quarterback. We talked about him. We think he'll play quarterback tonight. He's an athlete. He is the man to beat tonight if you're trying to single in on one guy. Why do I say that? 35 carries, 458 yards. He had 300 plus yards against North Tama 2 weeks ago. That first night, he was the starting quarterback for South Winn. So he ran for 300 yards in that game versus North Tama. 300 of those 458 came in that one game. I think that's what we will see tonight again as they run that option. He can either pitch or he can keep and will hurt you in both ways. Braden Todd, since he's not playing quarterback, like I said, he's played some wingback out there. 55 carries, 462 yards. Some of those at the quarterback spot, some of them in the last couple of weeks in different positions. He's also, like I said, played receiver, has several catches on the year as well, which I'll get to here in a minute. Kyle Koboshek is the fullback in this offense, number 8. He's the workhorse, 163 carries for that young man, 927 yards, almost a 6-yard average on 13 touchdowns for Kyle Koboshek. So that'll be I think what we're going to watch tonight is this rushing game and how does it work with Streeter at quarterback. They're going to try to hand it off to Koboshek and let him run up the middle. Our defensive line's been pretty stout. They haven't allowed a lot of rushing yards up the middle. So will that mean Streeter keeps more often and they try to get that ball outside? We'll find out. Should be a fun game tonight here in St. Ansgar. Receiving wise, we talked about it. Braden Todd's got 6 catches, 133 yards. So when he isn't quarterback, he catches quite a few. You notice his average 22.2 yard average on those 6 catches. Carson Streeter had 20 catches, so he was the favorite target. Before he was the quarterback, he was the favorite target. Now they'll rely on Todd and Grieve, who also has 6 catches for the Warriors. Defensively, Braden Todd has almost 50 tackles. But if you come down here, look at this guy, Kyle Koboshek. We talked about what a tough kid he is. 78.5 tackles. He plays fullback on offense, which tells me he's tough. He's got almost 80 tackles on defense, which tells me he's really tough. So that'll be the man to watch defensively. Number 8, Kyle Koboshek. They have 9 interceptions on the year. The other thing I would point out, so they have a ball hawking defense, 4 interceptions for Grieve, the junior, 3 for Braden Todd. That'll be something to watch tonight on the South Winn side of the football. If we go over to the Saints side of the football, let's get you going here with that one. If we go over to the Saints side, it looks a little like this. Obviously, schedule-wise, the Saints are on a roll since that week 3 loss to West Hancock. They have rattled off 6 consecutive wins. And have looked good, have looked dominant these last few weeks as they roll into those playoffs, have allowed just 19 points in the last 4 weeks of football. Statistically, led by senior quarterback Jace Schwiesau. This has been a dimension we've talked about a lot this year on Saints TV. Have that ability to pass. Not only does he have 885 yards of passing, but he's completing those passes at an almost 65% clip. And super efficient with 10 touchdowns, takes care of the football with just 1 interception. So Jay Suisau will hurt you through the air when he needs to. Favorite receivers? Well, he doesn't have one because he's got 4, right? We've joked about that this year. Dylan Brum, 13 catches, 262 yards, is your leading receiver. Right behind him, Corbin Michaels, 12 catches, 199. Connor Mullenbeck has 11 catches and 188 yards. And Tyson Klein has 8 for 197. Tyson Klein has nearly a 25-yard average on those 8 catches. So dangerous team here in terms of got a little balance to us. We'll beat you with the run game if you'll let us. And if we need to, we'll go to the air. Rushing wise, Corbin Michaels, we've talked about it the last couple of weeks. This man is hard to tackle. Get him out in space, get him out into the open field, and he has been impossible, in fact, to bring down the last couple of weeks. 81 carries, 968 yards. That's a 12-yard average on those carries. 13 touchdowns with a 65-yarder thrown in there for fun. Tyson Klein, 71 carries, 581 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Okay, so but combine those two, have 24 touchdowns between them. The workhorse fullback Joe Clevenger, 46 carries, 271 yards, and a 6-yard average for him doing the tough work up there, blocking and scoring 5 touchdowns. And then, of course, you got Jay Schwiesau at the quarterback spot, who will keep it. As well as we run some more of those option looks. This offense has been more diverse this year than we've seen it in a long time. And those 44 carries, 252 yards, he can hurt you with his legs as well with 5 touchdowns for him. Defensively, the Saints have been really stout, 48.5 tackles. We've talked about Corbin Michaels and what he does offensively for this team. Don't forget what he does defensively. Leads the team with 48.5 tackles. 10 of those tackles for loss. Joe Clevenger right behind him with 46 and a half tackles as well. And if you look down here as a team, 17 sacks for this team. That's impressive. 43 tackles for loss. You look at some individuals. Derek Heeman has 5.5 sacks. Tyson Klein has 5 sacks. Both of them have been a menace in the backfield this season. So that's what it looks like as your Saints host the South Winneshiek Warriors here tonight at St. Ansgar. Be there if you can. Game will start at 7 p.m. Get your tickets online. You'll need one of those electronic tickets. This is playoff season, so you'll have to go onto the state website and buy those tickets. Be sure to be there, cheer on your Saints in what should be a really fun football game. This would be a good test for the Saints. This is a 2 versus 3 matchup, and I think it will play out in the Saints' favor, but will be a tough-fought match. I don't think there's any doubt South Winn will try to control the pace of the game. They're going to try to have long, sustained drives, hang on to that football. The Saints are gonna have to try to combat that, of course, and work quick defensively. Get them off the field. I think some key early third down stops will be very key for the Saints. And then when they get it offensively, they're going to have to dominate up front. I think it comes down to who wins that battle at the line of scrimmage tonight. Can the Saints offensive line has played fantastically with Derek Heeman, Aiden Beeson, Dylan Hanson, Braden Halverson, and Jackson Vroom. Your 5 up front have played fantastically this season. They need to go have themselves a night tonight and continue to make big holes up front, dominate up front. Special teams will be key. And of course, do not turn over that football. So I think those are your keys to victory for the Saints tonight. Thanks for joining us here on Saints TV. Good luck tonight, Saints. And we hope to see you there. If not, we will see you live on Saints TV. Until next time, see ya.